Hello, everybody, and welcome to Swampy Comics. I'm Swampy, and today we're going to be doing the tier list for all the new comics that came out this third week of January, the week of the 21st of January 2026. And just 8 books this week, so let's get right into it. First up, we got Batman Superman World's Finest, number 47. This is written by Mark Waid, pencils by Adrian Gutierrez, inks by Vicente Cifuentes, and colors by Tamra Bonvillain, with letters by Steve Wands. Here we have the third and final beat in the story of the merger, where you know um, Joker and Lex Luthor have come across this crazy Hawkman um, artifact called the Absorbicon, and they become one person, one terrifying villain, two minds in one very powerful mechanized body, and they're causing terror all over the place. And the only way to beat them is Bruce and Clark have gotten together and fused together like they did earlier in this series. And it's pretty cool. Just a big old fight issue. Pretty satisfying end to all this. Um, yeah, like it's one of those storylines that you're like, this seems like it was a pretty big deal. How come we've never heard about this before? But that's comic books for you. It's fine. I thought the art done here by Adrian Gutierrez was fantastic, and shout out to Cifuentes for the inks for sure. But oh man, definitely the high point of this. It, I think it's a great person to be taking over for Mora, at least in the interim. I hope Dan Mora comes back to this title, but we'll see. Um, but yeah, I mean, Batman Superman World's Finest continues just to be a fun book, with heavy superhero stakes, but not heavy lore stakes. Well, that's not even true. Like, they've been sowing seeds for a lot of cool lore stuff that's going to be coming out in the next level era of DC's publishing we'll be seeing soon. And yeah, for a story that started off, I was kind of iffy about this story arc. I thought it finished really strong. Pretty good issue all in all. So I think we'll just go ahead and put this in A tier for a really strong finish. Uh, right there. Next up, we got Captain America #6. This is written by Chip Zdarsky with art by Leo Diaz and Frank Alpizar, with colors by Romulo Fiardo Jr. and letters by Joe Caramagna. I'm not sure who did what for the art on this issue, but holy crap, what a step up. I gotta say, I really did enjoy the art by Valerio Schiti in the previous arc, issues 1 through 5 of Our Secret Wars. But I really like what Diaz and Alpizar are doing here with the art. This is just taking it up a notch. And yeah, this issue is a little weird though, because this felt like the issue 1 of this run. I'm wondering if there's something where the beginning arc of this, Our Secret Wars, issues 1 through 5, were maybe planned as one of those solo series that's just destined for a trade paperback. Because that's really what it seems like. Because this really seems like the post One World Underdoom #1 that I think everybody was maybe expecting from the actual #1 of this series. Um, all in all, like the first story arc, fantastic and doesn't take anything away from this. But yeah, it did. We definitely slowed down here, big time. But I'm along for the ride. I really think Zdarsky's run is starting off strong. Reintroducing Shield here, um, having a bunch of characters like who we meeting Charles Castlemore and Joe Ramos as part of his kind of mercenary team that Shield is sending out, along with Red Widow, who I don't know anything about, but has been kind of a mysterious character in Marvel for a little while, from what I understand. And yeah, I really think we're off to the races and a really good era of Marvel, with this book leading the way. Um, I thought this was great, even though it was a little slow. So we'll also put this here. Fantastic, fantastic issue. Did feel like a #1 for sure, rather than a #6. Let's stick with Marvel for another issue here. We got Daredevil and Punisher and The Devil's Trigger, number 3. It's written by Jimmy Palmiotti with art on this one by Gabriel Guzman and Tommaso Bianchi. Colors by Brian Valenza and letters by Joe Sabino. And yeah, um, I came around on this series. I reread issues 1 and 2, and I read this issue and loved it. From the okay, like it's definitely one of those things where I just wasn't in the mood for this, even though I was buying it and I know I like this corner of Marvel the most. Um, it's just weird how sometimes you read something on a different night and you're totally taking it in completely differently. And I did that with issues 1 and 2 the other day, and in preparation for picking this issue up, and I loved this. I think this is a very strong series. I take back any slightly disparaging comments that I might have had towards this. I love this. This is a lot of fun. I love seeing Matt try to stay 2 steps ahead of Frank's just bloody trail through all these mobsters in New York City, and it's a really compelling story, along with a great action set piece at the end. Thanks to Misty Knight, a character who I'm not familiar with, but now I think is a total badass, and I definitely want to see more. This issue is great. This is yeah, yeah. I love that Marvel Knights corner, and this one ticked all the boxes for me. I can't wait to see where we go from here. I'm throwing this in the S tier. There we go. I loved this. I love this issue. But yeah, let's move on to what I've learned is pretty divisive issue. DCKO Green Lantern Galactic Slam #1. It's a one shot kind of running alongside a DCKO. Doesn't have too much to do with the main story, but is kind of giving us a new character, kind of not new, but definitely setting him in stone for hanging out on Earth for a while, along with just kind of giving Kyle Rayner something to do before he becomes the focal point of the Green Lantern comic proper. From what I understand, that's what's happening. But yeah, I love this. So I'm a big wrestling fan, and I went into this with no expectations of grandeur, knowing that this was just going to be a silly, cheesy romp of fun, and that's exactly what it is. And just kind of more of an Omega Bam Bam origin issue, and or a bit, I keep on calling him Omega Bam Bam, Omega Bam Man issue. And yeah, he's definitely one of those characters that you either are gonna love or hate. I mean, and I'm on the love side. I you know, there's not like a lot of positive broy characters. I mean, I'm a fan of one of the broiest. Guy Gardner right here. And he's a good guy. But then you got Lobo, and he's just the broiest anti-hero ever. And I feel like Omega Bam Bam is really feeling like a total 100% good guy Lobo-ish role, which I didn't think I wanted until now. And yeah, um, this issue was great fun. It was also just whatever. Like you could skip this, you could read this or not. If you're a big Kyle Rayner fan, you might be a little disappointed. He definitely isn't the focal point here. This is an Omega Bam Man story for sure. Um, but all in all, there's lots of fun calls to wrestling lore and tropes, which I really enjoyed. Um, what you might consider a very cookie cutter paint by numbers origin story is fine because that's what most wrestlers have. It totally fits the character. And yeah, I loved it. And I love that there's a evil pro wrestler that's wrestling for Darkseid. That's just the dumbest, coolest thing ever. This was a lot of fun. But if I'm being totally honest, there wasn't a lot here. Um, it was just a goofy issue and nowhere near perfect. But I enjoyed it. So we are going to throw this one in the B tier. I'm gonna put it in the B tier. It was fun, but yeah, divisive, and I completely understand why it is so. But moving on. Oh yeah, and that's our. Oh no, we do have. Never mind. We have one more DCKO time. Thought we were getting away with just one this week. But anyway, next up, we got Fantastic Four #7. This is written by Ryan North with colors by Edgar Delgado, pencils by Humberto Ramos, inks by J.P. Mayer, and letters by Joe Caramagna. And I forgot to say credits for DCKO Green Lantern, so let me get into that real quick. DCKO Green Lantern Galactic Slam was written by Jeremy Adams, art by Pat Boutin and Cian Tormey, with colors by Romulo Fiardo Jr. and letters by Bud Bedoin. Okay, there we go. Fantastic Four #7, um, by North Delgado, Ramos, and Mayer. By Magna. Here we go. Invincible Woman Part 2. Part 2 of a story where in the first issue we find out that Galactus is looking for Sue Storm. And that's really odd. Galactus is powerful enough to just find Sue Storm. So the Fantastic Four are, of course, wondering what's with that dude. Um, yeah, like, this was fun. I really liked the setup of this, their family, and it felt like it a lot this issue. And as the proper four are getting ready to go seek out Galactus while building this faster than light craft, um, it's agreed upon that the youngins are going to stay behind and kind of help watch over things. And of course, there's a villain in the form of the Mad Thinker to come take advantage of that and try to throw things off the trail. And yeah, I loved that the heroes came to help, but Mad Thinker was ahead of him on that. He knew they'd do that, so he had a contingency for that. But what they didn't have a contingency for was how great of a guy Ben Grimm is. The Thing is my favorite member of the Fantastic Four. Always has been, always will be. I love that character so much, and to see that what saves the day is not only the tenacity of the young kids, defending their home and planet from the villains in the Fantastic Four are absent. Um, we see that it's also just Ben Grimm being a good guy that's defending everything because even though he's defeated villains in the past, he always treats them like people. He never forgot that they were people, and so there's a lot of them that he still has good relationships with, besides just you know even though they're criminals, and they are called upon to help the kids, and they come out in full force to beat the crap out of the Mad Thinker, and I just loved that. I thought it was a cool moment. Um, the kids did a great job defending, and the right people were there to assist, just as was planned. It wasn't a failure on their part, and yeah, it was cool to see at the end they're gonna get to pick and choose some toys from some duplicates of different heroes' devices and whatnot in this big room. And yeah, and then next issue we're getting Malice. Yeah, this is great. This whole Ryan North run has been fun, and it continues to kick total ass. I'm having a blast with the Fantastic Four. This is going in A tier for sure. Next up, we got Planet She-Hulk #3. This is written by Stephanie Phillips with art by Emilio Liso, colors by Sonia Obeck, and letters by Joe Caramagna. And man, what can I say? Jennifer Walter is stuck on Sakaar, dealing with the treachery of Corvin Blackjaw and his advisor Rowan Creed, um, the daughter of Rowan Creed, Alara, and her love for Quaid, um, the death of Mirren, and how that's just turning Corvin into a just vicious despot. Yeah, things are falling apart on Sakaar, and Jennifer is doing her damnedest to keep things together while her cousin's gone. Um, this series just has so much action, so much personality. Um, the She-Hulk character is strong and fun and funny and clever, um, and just a total badass. I really am really enjoying this. And the end reveal of her ex-boyfriend, the Jack of Hearts, showing up was pretty cool. I don't know a lot of their history, but this book did a great job of explaining that with just a small little caption, you know. Um, yeah, I I just love this. I don't want this to end. I want Planet She-Hulk to be an ongoing. This shouldn't end. This series is a great concept and it's firing off on every cylinder. I loved this issue. Another A tier. Bam. We're just gonna put it right there. Ain't much discussion to have because this was just so good. Yeah. What a good week for comics. I just had so much fun reading this week. And that continued on into our next book, Superman Unlimited, number 9. It's written by Dan Slott with art by Mike Norton, colors by Marcello Maiolo, and letters by Dave Sharp. And yeah, in this issue, boy oh boy, did this feel like Silver Age Superman in the best way. We have Clark and Steve Lombard going to a baseball game. Um, we have young John Kent working at Steelworks. We get a little view of him doing that. We get to meet Vicky Vale, which is also fun, and we get a reveal of the prankster for the modern era. A character that I gotta say, I, I'm already annoyed with this villain. I'm sure he's written to be that way, but so far I'm just like, this guy sucks. And I can't wait to see him get his ass kicked. Yeah. What is a lot cooler in this issue than anything to do with the prankster was Mr. Mitsopletic coming to John Kent and saying, "Hey man, yeah, there's a worse guy coming, and it sounds like John Kent is gonna have his own imp, and I can't remember what he said his name was, but yeah, it seems like John Kent is going to be getting his own imp, and it's going to be a lot more of adversarial type of guy than Mr. Mitsopletic. Yeah, Superman Unlimited is a lot of fun. I really like this issue, but I hated the villain. But yeah, besides the John Kent, Mr. Mistopletic thing, I guess another high point of this issue was the baseball game. I really liked the pranksters' ploy, and with the magnetic baseball and having an entire just stadium of baseballs flying at Perry White to kill him with Superman stopping him at the last second. I thought that was a pretty cool visual. That ruled. But yeah, I mean, I had fun reading this issue. Don't get me wrong, but just for the villain alone, it's gonna get it knocked down to B tier. 'Cause I am not excited for the prankster. Yeah, not really. Um, I did like the fact that I think in my earlier video I was saying, this the trickster, and I had to correct myself. And then at the end of this issue, Clark, was like, well, looks like all these crimes have been caused by Central City's the trickster, and that pisses the prankster off. And so he's like, I'm gonna kill Clark Kent for free. Nobody needs to pay me. That was a kind of a fun little twist there, but yeah, um, good issue. B tier is great. I mean, yeah, B tier is a great place to be. But next up and last up, we got Titans number 31. This is written by John Layman with art by Pete Woods, letters by Wes Abbott, and yeah, just those three. I don't do editors here. Um, yeah, here we have Grail fighting off against Donna Troy and Arsenal on Earth. We get flashes of Gar and Beast Girl off doing their thing. Nightwing and Raven are trying to get Terra to help them defeat this evil sorceress on Gemworld. Yeah, the Titans are spread out and all over the place in this issue. Um, and the DCKO of it all is fun. I mean, this was just a big, long fight issue from front to back. And I'm not a Titans reader. I'm just picking this up for the DCKO of it all. But, you know, more and more time I spend with these characters, I gotta say, the more and more I am warming up to them and caring a little more. It's hard to just be into everything. So I have nothing against the Titans. It's just a corner that I've never sought out or really been too interested in. Um, but I loved this. I think Grail is a super cool character. The whole Amethyst and Gem World thing is one of those corners of '80s comic books that's always fascinated me, and I want to read more about it. popped up in Green Lantern a few issues back during the Starbreaker Supremacy. I thought that was really cool. So it's kind of cool to see Gem World used again so soon. Hopefully, maybe we'll get more out of that corner of things. But yeah, I mean, this was a fine issue. Didn't really drop my jaw at any point. But you know, good. It was fine. Um, that's the kind of book that gets a B tier. There we go. So yeah, let's see here. I think it might be a little obvious on what the pick of the week is this week. It's a Daredevil Punisher: The Devil's Trigger #3. Absolutely action-packed from front to back. The criminal intrigue is firing off on all cylinders in this issue, and just a total pickup that I needed in this series, and definitely one of those ones that made issues 1 and 2 way better by contrast. And I also got to say, rereading issue 2, that had a really cool subway fight on it that I feel like I slept on and totally forgot about. So yeah. Anyway, if you're a fan of either of these characters, you should be reading Daredevil and Punisher's The Devil's Trigger. It's so good. But anyway, that's my cheer list for my picks this week. Thanks for watching. Give a like and subscribe if you could. Leave a comment below. I love hearing from people and I love commenting back. And thanks for watching. And until next time, we do the previews. Let's see, next Tuesday. You just be safe out there. Keep reading.